How many of you really feel like you've grasped everything that you've heard up here today? It's locked in there. You're ready to go out here and get it done. Let me see your hand. All right. That's less than 1%. That's good. There's a lot of information. That's how I felt, too. Fortunately, it was in 1988. So I've been around a while. Somebody asked me today, what kind of social media was around in 1988? Well, very little. But it did exist. It was there, and that's what I did. I created spaces for businesses. Got into the mortgage industry from my wife, bless her heart. She's upstairs working right now. And met the person who brought me into where I work right now. It's Kim Wall right here that I'd known for many years with America Home Key. I want to do a little experiment before we get started, because in spite of all this great information you've heard today, there's got to be one common factor, and that is you must be heard. Because if you're doing all of this and you're not being heard, it really doesn't go anywhere. You can't really convert anybody that hasn't actually paid attention to you. Great tools we've heard about today. How many of you have heard about a tool today that you absolutely want to try immediately? And have you tried any of the tools already? I know some of you have. I saw you signing up for the iZig thing. Now you get the drip marketing that comes back, and you see how that works. I use these tools every day, and that's why I'm up here to talk about social media, not as a provider of a service, but as a user and a creator of services for a company, to show you that it can be done. It takes a while. It doesn't happen overnight. But let's do a little experiment here. For about 5 seconds, I'm going to count down from 3 to 0. And when I hit 0, I want everybody at the same time. Now, you got to participate or it doesn't work as well. But with a room this size, this works great. When I hit 0, I want you to say in a loud speaking voice your name, where you work, and your phone number. Okay, on 0. 3, 0. Come on, everybody say it. Let's hear it. You're tired, aren't you? But you get the point. There's a lot of noise out there. If you've tried like Twitter or Facebook or even Active Rain or some of the other systems that are out there that we can touch, you can find it's pretty easy to get disappeared in there. Candle in the sun. That's where you are. Let's go to the next slide. Actually, skip 2 slides. Yeah, there, that one. These are kind of the things that I live by that help. Now, we have seen a steady increase in the activity that we get with a relatively new program. In fact, I showed a program the other day. I showed the results where we took one page, one form, and it went from about 14 average hits a day to 700. 700 in one day. Big jump. How'd we do it? It was a cross-campaign marketing type blitz. The old type like we used to use. We're giving away free CE for real estate agents. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get a lot of traffic when you're doing something like that. You don't always have to have a gimmick, but one thing you always have to do, regardless of which of these systems that you use, is to be yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to be yourself when you're engaging with people, so that when you actually do the one thing that's most important, because we can play online all day long, and for a lot of people that's what it is. But the real bottom line is, if you're investing 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour of your day using these tools, when you finally meet that person, you want to be exactly what you presented to them. I'm not going to give you a lot of theory. You've heard a lot of numbers today. There are a lot of theories. Theories cost money, and those are for people with a lot more money than I have and a lot more time. We've got to work on stuff that actually works. So when you're thinking about a program to get involved in, and you're listening even to people up here that are talking, ask them about the real results. Ask them for referrals. Ask other
Check.
You can track the number of people who call you. You can track the number of people who text you. None of those really matter until as far as real estate goes, until what actually happens. Because at this point, we're conversational, right? We're just talking. We're telling people about a listing that we have, or maybe we're sharing about a festival that's going on in our town just to get a little bit of attraction. But until we take it from conversational to transactional, you're not going to get the bottom line result that you need. So what you have to do is enter conversation with a transactional intent. That doesn't mean walking up to everybody you see either in real life, because social touches real life as well. This is social today. This is part of applied social systems. You don't just walk up to everybody you meet and go, "Hi, I'm a real estate agent. I just listed the house over at 4952 Main Street. I'd really like for you to take a look at these pictures." If you did that over and over again, people would begin to avoid you. Now, my brother-in-law is a huge MLM guy. I don't take half of his phone calls because he's always got the new, better, best program available. So be yourself. Be that person that they want to be a friend with. A lot of times I'll use the example of being in a lunchroom at school. That's Facebook and Twitter. Facebook especially. Can you sell on Facebook? Absolutely. Have I used Facebook ads? You better believe it. Have I gotten results from it? Absolutely. Guaranteed, got results. Loans are closed, money's in the bank. It happens. It's just how much you want to spend, when you want to do it, and those types of things. Stick to what you know. If you are not really a short sale expert, it won't take the people long to figure out that you just led them down a road. That's a giggler. If you are a short sale expert, that's fine. If you are not a condominium expert, because condominiums are different than detached single-family homes. Stick to what you know and what you have experience in. Don't experiment on the people that are depending on you to provide them service. And I'm talking about in the total social sphere, online and off. People's future depends on your words. How many times have you read a blog that somebody wrote that's in your business and you knew absolutely for sure that they were completely wrong? Happens to me. I'm in the mortgage business because, you know, everybody in the mortgage business has no opinion about anything. It's just kind of that way. That's what you've got to think about when you're presenting yourself is, are you presenting the facts? Are you being consistent in your message? You see, if you're consistent, it doesn't matter whether you're at church, at the ball game, at a party, online, people know what you do. They know that you're in the real estate industry, you're an inspector, you're an appraiser, and they know that they can trust you. They're going to be able to repeat what you say. And believe me, in the online social sphere, nothing beats being repeated. Anytime you can get picked up and repeated, that means somebody is helping you advertise your business. The online social sphere can be basically free. It doesn't have to be everything paid for. Be timely in your delivery. There are optimal times to release information. There are optimal times to post on Facebook. There are optimal times to post on Twitter. There are optimal times to release your blog releases. There are also optimal times to send email messages. Now, we spend a lot of time putting our email messages together and getting them into that optimal delivery window so that they're there and ready for people to answer them when the time comes. I'm going to do something for you today that I just thought of earlier today. I haven't cleared it with my boss. Is this okay if I do this? She said yes. She doesn't even know what it is. If you're here today, there's no way that you're going to get everything that I can possibly share with you about applied social systems. So what I want you to do is, if you're on Twitter, follow America Home Key on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter and follow America Home Key. Now, what I'm going to do is, for you, I'm going to set up a free 1-hour webinar where I actually talk about the tools that I use, how I use them, and give you some actual images that show you the results from those. So maybe that'll help you a little bit better in planning what it is that you need to do. Share the wealth. Always let people know what you know. Now, maybe not everything, but that's the way you become an expert in your market. Can we go back one slide? They're out of order, actually. That's exactly it. Everybody needs to go a little ape every once in a while. It's pretty simple. You assess the situation that you have right now. What's going on for you? What's working? What's not working? What did you hear in that Xplode event that almost made your head explode? I think that's why Matt called that this, because there's so much information here. Think about where you are. Do a little bit of investigation. Plan a strategy, but plan a strategy headed towards the results that you need to get based on actual results that people have had. And then finally, execute that plan. The thing about doing a plan is you can go back and revisit those from time to time. So if you're doing things on Facebook and you're doing things on Twitter and you're doing things on Active Rain and you've got your own blog, you should be tracking these things and knowing which ones are working best for you. Modify your plan as you need to. Don't be afraid to change it based on real experiences that other people have had to move you forward. Now, like I said, there's no way that I can stand up here in 12 minutes and tell you every single tool, because you're hearing about a lot of good tools today anyway. So think about the APE, think about going APE, and keep this one in mind too. I love acronyms. FUR, F-U-R. And it's not that kind of fur that gets the paint thrown on you. This is frequent, unique, and relevant. If you're providing frequent information, whether it's, I don't tell you not to do an old-fashioned newsletter. I don't tell you to stop sending postcards, because those things are valuable as well. Be frequent in what you do. Be unique in your message, because everybody has a niche. If everybody had the same listing for the same price, the same property, there's nothing unique about that. There's nothing that makes you stand out from that noise that we did a little bit earlier. And then always be relevant. That's where you've got to use the tools that you're hearing about from these vendors today to find out what your base is looking for and be relevant to them. So go ahead, follow America Home Key. As soon as I see your name on there, I will sign you up or send you a way to sign up for the free webinar on actual tools that I use and how they use them. And support these vendors today. I don't have anything to sell you, but give you some stuff. Thank you very much for your time.